Hi, it's Kellee Waters from Fit Minds and Bodies. Well, when we start any new program, what we really need to do is discover what progress measures we're going to use so that we can track our success and our progress. But all too often, we actually don't do this step and we leave ourselves with one measure. And that is the scales, or the number on the scales. Well, I absolutely hate the scales with a passion. I would prefer that you throw them out. And the reason for this is that we give so much power and meaning to the scales, to the number on those scales. And the power that we give it influences how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, your behaviour, your mood, your emotions, your food intake, your activity levels, your social life. So much is dictated by the number on the scales. You are actually sabotaging yourself by having this progress measure. And I know that most of you need it, want it, but I will tell you that you're keeping yourself trapped in a very negative cycle. And I tell my clients to throw the scales out. I threw the scales out, and it's the first time in my life that I actually felt free. And I felt that I could progress because I didn't have a sabotaging effect. So let's have a look at a typical example of one of my clients, but also a theme that continued to come up through the forums. So let's take an example of Jill. Jill's had a really great 2 weeks on the plan. She's changed some of her eating habits to really healthy foods. She's really feeling good about what she's done. It's been easy. She's also implemented 3 10-minute walks a day. She's getting a lot more energy throughout the weeks, and she's also catching up with a friend on weekends for a weekend walk. So overall, she's feeling pretty good about what she's done. But it's weigh-in day. So, she gets a bit anxious. She hops on those scales, takes a big deep breath in, has the courage and looks down. She looks up with disbelief, looks down again, and can't believe it. She's only lost 100 grams in 2 weeks. What the? 100 grams in 2 weeks, and yet she's changed all these things. She was feeling really good about what she was doing. So now, all the positives, all the good that has happened in 2 weeks, in an instant, is forgotten, is gone out the window. And now, all that Jill's feeling is the negatives. She's feeling despondent, disappointed, angry. She feels like, what the heck, why bother? And so potentially this is going to cause Jill to blow the diet and eat whatever she wants during the day, or even have a binge. For some people, what it might even do is cause them to punish themselves in a different way. And they might restrict and deprive themselves and over-exercise. All of these things are really just negative, sabotaging effects. So it's time to grab some positive things, some positive progress measures, and get out of these negative cycles. So let's look at some of the progress measures that you could use. So percentage of foods that are healthy versus unhealthy. So the goal really here is 80% healthy foods, 20% not so healthy. But some of you might only be at 60% healthy, 40% unhealthy. So how you progress is gradually, incrementally, with 10% increments. And this is how you will determine your progress over time. Now, binges. Binges are a really important thing to measure. And most of you bury yourself when I talk about binges. Oh, I don't want to know. Go into denial. But these are a great measure of progress. So what we want to do with our binges is look at the types of foods, how often, how long, and how much food you're eating. And I do this with my clients. I make them face their binges and have a look at how their binges start when they first see me and how they look 6 months later. And it's amazing, the progress. Then what we've got is things like your daily activities, how you get out of bed, the ease of doing these things, putting on shoes, going to the toilet, putting on your clothes, doing up your seatbelt. All of these things are really important to progressing yourself and knowing if you're succeeding on your journey. Other things are your clothes. How are they fitting? How's your belt fitting? Then what we have also is things like measurements, photographs that you have that you take specifically for seeing your progress. Fitness levels, mood levels, medication levels, and also your overall health, such as your blood pressure, your blood glucose, your cholesterol. All of these things are really important progress measures. So what I recommend is that you pick 8 progress measures outside of weight. And this is really important because at any one stage, there will be 1 or 2 that will be moving and the rest will be stationary. And if you don't have this many progress measures, what will happen is that you will get despondent. You will believe that you're failing. And so it's really important to have at least this number of measures. Now, when we measure these, we only measure them every 3 to 6 weeks. And the reason we do this is because any sooner than that, and you're really not going to see any change, any progress. And some of you are going, but I want to measure these sooner. I want to see progress sooner. But remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And this is how you see your progress, your change over time. Remember, it's taken you how many years to get to where you are? It's going to take you a little time to change and to get where you need to be so that you can cross the finishing line. The other thing that I suggest to people is a daily achievement poster. And all this is an A3 piece of paper or cardboard, and you put it up somewhere private. And every day you come home and you write something positive on this. So even if you've had a really horrible day, I want you to find something positive that you did and to write it up. So even if you had a binge day, what did you do well? And it might be that the binge wasn't as long, or you chose better foods. Something so simple. Or at work, you had that chocolate bar, but that was fine. You didn't have a family block like you normally would. Or that you actually got up after you had the chocolate bar and did some stress management. All of these things are positive. And this helps you when you go into the doldrums, the woe is me, and all the negative, is that you can look at the positive things that you've achieved over time and focus on those rather than always focusing on the negative, which always sabotages us. So I look forward to hearing from you all in the forums as to the progress measures that you have chosen. So good luck.